Hello, and welcome to Verdalia Park episode 5. In this video, I'll be starting off on the main street with two nice and aesthetic buildings. One being a cool little locker room for people to keep their belongings in, and a nice and vibey cafe for the family to drink coffee and eat all kinds of pastries. Now let's get started. First, I immediately went and put some dry grass under the supports and the track because, you know, the sun doesn't reach that part, so I wanted to make it a little bit more realistic, and it bothered me that I didn't do that in the last episode. I got a suggestion to add row signs, so I ended up doing that in the parking lot, and I think it ended up looking nice in the end. I took the poles and I kept on copying them over, that way it'll be easier, and then I just changed the names from there. It was pretty easy. Then I start to work on section A, because I decided to do it backwards for some reason. I went to section B to section A, but I did the same exact process for section A, and I made it a different color. That way they're easily differentiable. This is a map of the parking lot, by the way, just to make it clear. And then once again, I do the same thing for section C of the parking lot, which is the very back. And then to add a little bit more of a touch of realism, I decided to add handicap parking spaces to make my park more accessible. I drew the entire handicap symbol using like underscores with like the invisible sign thing, and I don't know if I should have done that because it kind of glitches out the signs in the game, so I might change it, but for now it looks pretty cool. Then all I have to do is just copy paste this one a billion times and then do it on the other side as well. Now we're actually getting started on the main street. So there's a few ways I could have done this like road, but I just made it one path and I actually created the curbs myself using like pillars and stuff. So you'll see it's cool. I tried doing it another way using paths, but they can't cross paths if they're separate, so I just use the concrete, and if I want them to go up it, I just put paths that match the height of the curb. I start building the layout of the cafe using these little cube pieces. That way I could just create a custom layout without having to worry about like the walls in game. Then I use pillars as walls and use these purple squares to trace it into the building. There, this is what I meant when I said that I'd match it at the level of the curb, that way they could walk on it, pretty much. So yeah, it looks cool, but like, the day they give us the option to get rid of these dumb white curbs, everything will be fixed. My life will be fixed. It'll be great. Here I'm choosing which floor I want to use for the cafe, and I ended up just going with a block wall because I feel like it's a cool little cozy floor. I don't know, it's cool. I decided to change the colors of the cafe because I feel like it wasn't gonna fit, but I do like the green color scheme, so I might do another building someday with that color, but it just didn't match this one, I feel like. So yeah. Now I just poke some holes in the walls to make some nice windows. Oh, and the lighting in this game is awesome. Like, the light shining through the windows looks great. Then to add some life to the buildings, I added some flower pots and filled them with flowers to make it look a lot more aesthetic. To make it look less plain, I just used these nice little trim things to go around the roof. That way it looks like a legitimate building. I don't know how to describe it, but it just adds to the feeling. Now for some realism again, I added some AC units on the top. And now to name the restaurant, or the cafe. I decided to name it Brews and Bites because I want to make it where you can drink coffee and also eat pastries like donuts and stuff. Then I use really small coaster supports to frame the windows and make it look better. Now that I'm done with the cafe building, I decide to add an outdoor eating area. And it's going to be very aesthetic and beautiful in my opinion. So stay tuned. Those logs I just tried to put were horrendous, so I used these normal fences to surround the little eating area and make it feel a bit more private. Now I start adding all the tables where the people are going to eat at. Then I start building like these cozy hanging light bulbs that go over the entire thing, and it makes it look really nice at night. Now I just light up the whole little cafe area, that way it looks nice at night. Here I get started on the little booths where people are going to buy their coffees and pastries. I freaked out here because I would realize that the people look really small compared to the building, and I always forget to check the scaling of the building, but I ended up lowering the roof to make it look a little less tall. But yeah, I don't know, I think it was fine. I'll pay more attention to scaling next time. And then I got started with the booths where the people can eat in the restaurant. made sure to put some nice little flowers to make it very vibey and nice. I also just threw around a bunch of little primitive art-shaped circles to make it look like a beanbag where people can just chill there, I guess. And then I got started with these nice little stand-up tables where people could just stand up and drink or eat. And here I'm getting started on the little backstage area of Fireflight where maintenance is done and stuff like that. Just for fun, I decided to make a little decoration menu with like some items on it. Now I create the path for the rest of the main street. I want to make it like pretty long, that way people can explore around the shops and stuff. Now, for my trip to Disney, I noticed there's a lot more security than I had in my park. So I decided to add some security stops. That way if the metal detector detects anything, they can come over here and get checked by the security. And then I start creating the tables where the security guards are going to be at. I use a bunch of these tiny little pillars to create like trays where they hold your belongings. And then I use like phalanges or whatever they're called for from the coaster supports to create like a metal detector like sword thing. I don't know what they're called. And then for realism, I clarify with the sign what's going on, the security check, thank you for your patience, and then a nice little stop sign. And then I saw at Disney they had like little white lines on the ground, which like basically just act like a queue to get checked in the security. And then I clarify side 1 and side 2. I make sure to illuminate it with like cool tones, that way you see more instead of like my warm aesthetic tones. I use these cool tones, that way the security can see more in the darkness. And then I just basically copy everything over to the other side and then fix some little things that didn't get copied. And then I decided to get rid of some of these little patches of grass and create one in the middle. That way all of the little access points have a little security station that they can go to. I use the same little white lines trick that I did in the other ones as well. And then I copy over the sign and make it a hanging sign. That way, again, I can clarify what's going on. And then because I felt bad, I got rid of the foliage. I just added some nice little pots of flowers in front. Now I put some of these barriers, that way I make sure they don't cross through there, because as you can see they just did. And now, once and for all, I finally get started on the locker building, and I use these little shapes to create the actual room for the lockers, and I make this building out of brick. Then I use these little coaster supports again. I use these a lot, actually, now that I think about it. I use them to create the little doors that you store your stuff in. And I made sure to create like a smaller little door, that way if you want like a cheaper thing and you don't need to hold that much, that's also an option. And then these are the door handles, and I also made my own little locker pad with the coaster supports again. And then boom, copy paste, blah blah blah. Boring. Yeah, a lot of copy pasting for this. Then I use these little pillars to add some frameage to the building, as I say at least once per episode. Then here I pretty much just focus on framing the building and getting the right architecture that I want for it. Also, I did make sure to scale this one right. Unlike the cafe, but I promise in the future I'm gonna focus on scaling more. Just ignore it for now. It's a little bit unrealistic, but Just ignore it. I was a little stumped on how to do this roof, but then I just resorted to my casual pitched roof. But I'm sorry, but the pitched roofs always look good. I don't know, too bad. And then here I do my casual pitched roof, weird roof pillar design. I don't even know what to call it, but I do it on all of my pitched roofs. Then I add some nice little windows. And just because I thought it looked more different from the other buildings, I decided to change it to like a white color. That way, I don't know, none of my other buildings are like solid white, and I thought it looked nice. And then here, basic, straight to the point name, Locker Rentals. And then here I decided to make these two little machines where you can buy a locker and then go open it, just like in real life. Lots of inspiration from real life. So for now they're just imaginary screens, because when on the next update we can put PNGs, I'd for sure make like a Canva thing and then a purchase locker screen by myself, and it would look a lot better. But for now this will do. And then, as usual, I light it up for nighttime coolness. I don't know. I've also been making sure to put these little circles to plant trees. That way it all like flushes in and looks natureful, even though you're on a main street. Like it still looks like it's full of nature, and that's my goal. And now I just start building the little maintenance storage area for the Fireflight coaster, which can be accessible by a gate that I will build here in a second. Then I make sure to light this side at night, because I haven't done that yet and people are going to see it when they leave the park and stuff, so might as well make it look good. I make sure to add the barriers to this part, that way no one phases through these fences. Also, just for quickness, I use some blueprints from the workshop. So if you want to know where I got these, I'm going to include the codes and the creator names in the description. And here I start on the little gate that can actually let workers into this area. Somehow there's no like curved chain thing that can make it look like it's locked, so I just used a sign, and then I think I typed in C and then made it look like it's locked. And then for more realism, I decided to create the little hinges that the door moves on, because what door just floats without hinges, right? Here I create my own little like wood pallet thing. That way it looks like they're just storing wood for extra use if they need it. Then I use more Frontier workshop stuff that I will put in the description. To make stuff even more realistic, I started working on the inside of this building. That way it looks like they can actually do maintenance on the train while they're being stored in here. And that pretty much wraps it up for this video. I really hope y'all enjoyed it. I want to thank all of you for 500 followers. It's actually crazy how much I've grown already with just 4 episodes. It means so much to me. I also did just want to let you know, school and homework be going crazy, so my upload schedule is going to be a little bit more inconsistent, but don't worry, I'm gonna make time for it. I'll find a way. In the next episode 6, I'll probably build more buildings in the main street, so if you have any ideas for them, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you again so much for watching, and here are some cool cinematics of my build.